All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Get to the podcast!
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a podcast?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and
Podcast.
and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey everyone, welcome to Get to the Podcast. That's Get to the Podcast with the number 2. My name is Diego D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
No, let Neil do it. That's not. You do it, Neil.
I was trying to do the classic.
No, is that not it?
Dude, we just go through.
I thought we were gonna just start like improvising a little jazz freeform.
No,
That was like what the remix from I don't know.
So Bond 25's in trouble.
Yeah.
Bond 25, yeah, that's so we just found out.
Which is crazy because we just came off the heels of the new Mission Impossible, which is fucking incredible.
Yeah, and it's like,
And
okay,
then-
good. Open up the door for the spy genre.
Yeah, we're like,
Really
come on,
wasn't it,
Bond,
but
like
it's
you gotta beat Mission Impossible 6, and then it's
because
like,
we just did
then
the
this
we
happens,
we
yeah.
even did the head-to-head, and now
Fucking
it just,
Britain is fucking up again.
Now I'll tell you, if Daniel
Fucking
Craig
A.
was like a real producer and creative like force like Tom Cruise is, maybe
Yeah.
it would be getting made. But like
Yeah.
the Bond guys and the actors never seem to really be a driving force on getting it done. You have Broccoli and Wilson, like these
Yeah.
producers who've owned it forever, are kind of the people who call the
I
shots.
think I don't know. I feel like Daniel Craig brought a level of seriousness to the films. The last several films that he's made, it just seems a little bit more serious, not like dramatically
Yeah.
more serious,
Yeah.
but more serious than like
Any
you
of
know,
the-
the
it's not
He
Conjuring
brought
campy.
something
films.
fresh.
They're
Yeah.
not it's not
It was
campy.
fresh. But here's the
But
thing
it's
too.
not- yeah, the camp is like gone.
There was-
I've loved them, by the way.
The
Love them.
I don't know what
Yeah.
the fuck happened to the James Bond camp. But the thing is that when Casino Royale, that was the first one, right?
Yeah, first one, Daniel Craig.
Yeah, so
06, I believe.
there was a lot of like things that happened, even like people like hating Daniel Craig.
Oh,
when that-
beforehand.
Beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
There was
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of shit that went down
remember
beforehand
that,
too.
yeah.
When Casino Royale came out, and then Casino Royale was like one of the fucking
It shut everybody down.
yeah, it
Yeah.
just one
It's
of the
still
best
an
James
incredible
Bond
film, yeah.
film I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, so but now it's kind of
Yeah, well, now it's a kind of okay. By the time this episode actually drops, will be like a week and a half after this news. So maybe some things will have changed. But as of right now, we just found out in the last 24 hours that Danny Boyle, who was set to direct the film and was going to go into production in the next couple months, he just pulled out, right, and did not impregnate the franchise. So we just know it was over. It's that kind of normal.
I need to
rhetoric.
wait. I
We're
need to
like
put a
2 minutes
disclaimer.
in.
My new intro needs to be.
How long is it going to take before he mentions semen in
my
some form or
intro
fashion?
is going to be hi and welcome to Get to the Podcast for mature audience only.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I mean, come on,
Rated
you were
M
all
for mature.
thinking it. I can't just say pull out and
No, I
emphasize the
don't.
pull out and not like mention. You know, I can't. I gotta
not
push the
everyone
innuendo
was
button.
thinking that.
No.
Everybody was thinking it.
Sorry, you're on your own on this one, Nick. But hey, it's
so-
just you.
I'm so wrong. Okay, but he pulled out. God
He
damn it.
withdrew.
He withdrew. He made a deposit and then withdrew.
He withdrew his deposit.
Yes. No, he pulled out of the franchise because there was the normal rhetoric, creative differences.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Whatever that means. That I mean, that's like the
Well, now we have an
filing
idea.
for divorce because irreconcilable differences is this thing. It's
Yeah.
like an umbrella statement that covers all manner of things.
Yeah.
But now we have an idea, but this isn't a confirmed thing. This is just like sources say that the writers wanted to basically kill off Bond in some dramatic fashion at the end of the movie, and then leave it open with like some sort of open-ended ending or whatever. He dies, and it would set up a twist where in the next one he'd either be still alive or they would have him, they said, regenerate like a Doctor Who, like basically have somebody else come in.
Who directed?
be the
There was
next
a guy
one.
who directed like 2 or 3 of them.
Martin Campbell?
Martin Campbell.
Well, he
yeah.
did Quantum of Solace. He also did GoldenEye, so he rebooted the franchise twice.
Yeah.
You mean Casino Royale or Quantum?
Yeah. What did I say?
Quantum of Solace.
Quantum of
Did I say
Solace.
Quantum of Solace?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did.
Casino Royale.
Casino Royale.
So they've had a different director for every film. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, no.
okay.
Sam Mendes did Skyfall and Spectre.
Oh, so I think if they brought Sam Mendes back, he would be okay with killing off Bond. I feel like Danny Boyle is probably like coming into the franchise like, I don't want
wanna
my
kill-
film to be the one where he dies. And Sam Mendes like, I already directed this guy in 2 films. Like, we can kill him off to set it up for a new Bond.
Right, because Daniel Craig's not coming
Set
back.
it up for
Do you guys
Idris
feel
Elba.
like here's the thing? Like I know I'm more of a Mission Impossible guy, but here's what I feel about James Bond. I feel like James Bond, the character, has been used a lot, and it's hard to tell something fresh with him. So
I mean, it's really the world scene. Like, whatever's going on in the world determines,
correct,
I think, the interest. It's like, that's why the character's
But what I'm
interesting.
saying, would it be a good thing to refocus the franchise into multiple Bonds? Like, this is like...
Okay, do what they
What do
were
you
going to
mean?
do at the end of Casino Royale. You mean?
Correct,
So at the
yeah.
end of Casino Royale, we've mentioned this before, they were going to have a scene with all of the actors who've ever played Bond that were still alive at the time. It was Sean Connery, probably George Lazenby, Timothy Dalton, Roger Moore, Pierce Brosnan, and have them all kind of be in a room, and then you find out it's like this twist thing where it's like James Bond is a code name.
I think it was
It's
just
a
going to
code
be
name.
like, he was going to like walk in, they were going to be there, and he's going to like walk out or something.
Yeah,
or,
but I think the idea
but it was
was
like a, you know, like a total
But they weren't
throwaway.
going to just be like cameos playing different people. The idea was like there was going to be a line of James
Bonds.
Bonds.
I
Each of
actually
them-
like
Yeah.
that. I think that's a
think
great
that's-
idea.
That would have fucked me up, but in a good way. Like
Yeah.
it would have been like, oh, James Bond's a code name. That's not his real name.
Yeah.
So that would have been really interesting. So maybe that's what they're going back to with this next one. Is sort of like if he died at the end of this one, the next one would be like, here's the next Bond, but he's actually a different guy, but he's going by the code name James Bond.
Yeah.
But it looks like Danny Boyle didn't want to do that. I would have thought Danny Boyle, you know, he's kind of this. He's a great director, a great storyteller. I thought maybe he'd want to take it in some interesting direction like that, but it seems he didn't want that. The writers and probably the producers were pushing that. He's like, no, so he walked away, and and that's what I heard originally when a couple days ago when he left, is that it was over the script.
Yeah.
And I thought he was pushing some crazy shit, and the producers were like, hey, put on the brakes. But it seems that's the opposite.
The opposite.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen now because they were supposed to release it.
Well, they've never killed a Bond.
No, they haven't.
They've never killed off in 25 films or how
Yeah,
many
this
films?
will be the 25th
This will be the
one.
25th
One,
film. So
25,
24
yeah.
films never killed the Bond. So
25 if you
I
count
can
Never Say
understand.
Never, or 26 if you could count the
mean,
original Casino Royale.
There's something to be said for being the first to do something like that, you know? Like,
And in this day and age,
You know,
with
it'd be
so much,
crazy. I just had a scene in my head. It would be crazy if just Daniel Craig just walks in and just walks into the office and he puts his gun down and he just retires, and then another person just comes up and say, hey,
Picks up the gun
register as the new.
it would
new
be
Bond.
crazy if, you know, they have the opening sequence.
It was like it was nothing. It's like nothing character switch.
in the opening sequence,
Yeah.
he walks by the barrel and somebody pops him from behind. He
Yeah.
dies in the
and then
barrel.
there's like they introduce a new Bond and like no one knew that
Right.
like everyone was like, oh, Daniel Craig is going to play Bond in Bond 25, and Bond he's only in it for like the first 10
Right.
minutes of the film,
Yeah.
and then that would be interesting.
That would be. And in this day where so many things have been done, you kind of want to reinvent and do something crazy that grabs attention.
Yeah.
But you
Why
also
not?
don't. You got to do it.
you don't
want to
fuck up the franchise.
Yeah, you don't want to
Don't,
fuck up the
yeah.
franchise, or with this fanboy kind of shit that goes on out there. You don't want people like freaking the fuck out and trying to tear you down.
Yeah.
Before you get started, but I just think it's interesting because Danny Boyle I thought was a great
Oh yeah.
guy, a great director for the film. I was like, oh great, Danny Boyle. That
Yeah.
totally works. I'm down with that. And then now he's gone, and this messes up the release because they were supposed to release in November 8th, 2019, which is just a little over a year from now. Now that this happened, they can't just bring in a director who's going to start filming like a couple months because he needs to do a lot of pre-production, work over things, make sure. So this is probably going to get pushed
What
to
is up
2020.
with Hollywood right now? I feel like there's
I
been
feel
a
like that
series.
question has been asked every fucking
I don't know,
year
man.
for the
There's-
last
there's a
Maybe it's
lot
just
of
we know
years.
too much about what's going on behind the scenes
Yeah.
because of Twitter and people speaking out like who are on
Yeah.
the production. But
Yeah.
like, it seems like there's been like many major films where like there's been creative quote unquote creative differences.
Right.
Especially with like Disney and Marvel and shit like that.
Right.
And you're like, the fuck is going on? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. It seems.
I can't
weird.
really put Disney and Marvel because they've come together on like almost everything at the end and come out with a great product.
That's true.
I'm
they do
kinda
seem to
concerned about
salvage. They
Bond.
have been able to salvage things. Yeah.
They have been able to salvage things, but I
And
do
they'll
understand the
salvage
fact
this,
that
but it's like, yeah,
will they?
yeah,
What?
they'll salvage
Will
this.
they salvage?
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
It's
I'm not
fucking
worried.
Bond. I'm not
But
worried
it's-
about Bond.
I am.
I'm not.
I am.
They
I
can
really
always
am.
Bond. The one thing Bond's ever always been able to do is reinvent. That's the one franchise nobody's ever complained about being rebooted. Like everybody's like, oh, reboot! You're gonna reboot Spider-Man so soon. It's like nobody gives a shit about Bond because that's part of the appeal of it. Is it's always rebooted.
How many years?
No,
You could literally bring in somebody
that.
else. It could suck. He could suck, and you could just reboot it with another guy.
It's been
And
like
I get that.
60
It's
years.
62
It's
was
been
I think
60
Dr.
years,
No, right?
but the generation.
Was it Dr. No was the first one?
That was the first one
Yeah.
if you don't include the original Casino Royale. But yeah, Dr. No was the first one. That was, I believe, 62. So that's 56
Casino Royale
years.
was a film that was released in theaters, I thought.
Yeah, but that's not considered canon. That was just like a comedy. His name was Jimmy Bond. It was just like there was multiple Bonds, I think, even in that. It was just.
Oh, okay.
It's not considered canon. But if you go to the first official James Bond movie, that's 1962. Dr. No, it's 56 years. And ever since Roger Moore and George Lazenby, like all these guys started coming in and rebooting, Timothy Dalton even, like it's
I like
expected.
Timothy Dalton.
I know you
It's-
do.
it's-
it's
I
expected
understand
to
that.
be rebooted. So literally, I don't think this has this regeneration effect where even if they bring in a new actor, it sucks. They could just reboot it with another guy and nobody would be like, I can't believe they're already rebooting. It'd be like, no, we know that. Bond's always going to reboot. It's always going to be here. There's always going to be a new iteration. They could do crazy shit. They could even kill off a Bond and then go to another story and be like, no, that never happened. Because, the Pierce Brosnan and GoldenEye has nothing to do with Dr. No, has nothing to do with Octopussy, has nothing to do with...
That's why
I disagree with that.
I wish they had the
How do you
continuity.
disagree with that? That's literally...
No, look, I come from.
There's no continuity.
Did he just fucking roll
No,
his eye?
I wish there
here's
was,
the-
Daniel
because-
Craig ones are the only ones with continuity.
You could have
No,
like
yeah,
Dr.
yeah.
No's like grandson be like the villain and
I
like
know.
Here's the
but-
thing,
and
here's the
they
thing.
should do that, but at the same time, once you do that, you put them all in the same universe in this way that's sort of like, can you fuck with things as much? Because right now you could fuck with anything. If like they brought Blofeld back, you know what I mean? Christoph Waltz played him, and he was they totally reinvented that character.
Yeah.
It's like a completely different universe. It's like a
Yeah.
parallel universe, and I'm like, that's. Bond is okay to do that. You're
Yeah,
allowed to do
I
that.
understand that Bond can be a recycle, respin, and it can be good, but I do feel that it is a generational storyline, and I think today they do have to like the last Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
It was different,
But
than
but
the
they're
other ones.
connected. All those films are sequels.
Yeah, but it was
Bond's
different.
not
It was still
sequels.
it was still different. They really fitted to the new generation.
Yeah, which
So-
they could do that.
And they can do that, but this is why I was saying that I feel like maybe taking that turn into saying that Bond is not just this one guy, multiple people. It'll be a refresh to the whole story, because I feel like James Bond is getting to, you're just putting a different event in the film and having them deal with it with at least the last two of them.
I like them.
The
though. I
last-
like
the
Spectre.
last-
No,
couple-
and that's the thing. I respect and I love Bond. I
Right.
love Bond to death, and I like him. But is he running? Is that style running out of juice?
Right.
They need to do something, like you said, maybe do something crazy and totally
Right.
just give it a I don't know. Just
reimagine it.
There has
Reimagine,
been
yeah.
Continuity with all the Daniel
Yes,
Craig
the Daniel-
films.
which
Yes.
is
Like
which is
those-
rare.
All
which
of
is
those
rare.
are sequels.
Yeah.
Like they all
They are.
connect in different ways. They
But
all,
once he-
even
once he
Spectre,
leaves,
like
you
whole
usually-
pulls them all together.
Totally. But you could reboot. And like that's the thing is like once Daniel Craig leaves, you could just reboot into a whole new world.
Yeah.
And then there will be no continuity with the last ones unless they do what it sounds like they're trying to do, which is kill him off and then have him like that play
almost-
into the next one.
I don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I feel like maybe they should. Maybe that was a good call. Because
I
the
mean,
way
it's interesting.
the way Daniel Craig's story is played out, like M is dead.
Yeah,
you know,
they
like-
replaced
like,
M.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that
Vespa
Q.
died in the first one.
Instead
and
of
Q
recasting
died.
M, they
No, Q didn't die.
replaced M. No, Q's still
No,
alive.
Q is alive.
Who
No,
was
but
the
they
old
replaced
Q, but
The old
he
Q.
but he died between
Wait,
movies.
who was the one in Casino Royale, or did they have one?
They didn't have Q in Casino Royale. He showed up in, I believe,
The
he
last
showed up
three.
in Skyfall.
Yeah,
I
last
think.
three.
Oh,
Last
shit.
two,
All
I
right.
think. I don't even think. Well, maybe.
Well, anyway, M is all
maybe
that
Quantum
matters
of Solace.
because she was in all the.
Yeah. Well, she was in the Pierce Brosnan ones.
Yeah,
And
which
was
is
in, so she
continuity.
was. I know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
She was his like
Judi Dench,
his
yeah.
protector.
Judi Dench, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but it was cool because then
what
they
I'm saying.
replaced her with a white man. That was awesome. So,
Well, it's
I'm
also
just kidding,
it's
but
also
Voldemort.
Ray
Ray
Fiennes, who's a fantastic actor.
He's
I'm like,
great. He was
if
good.
anyone was going to
Yeah.
replace Judi Dench, like I'm okay with Ray
he was
Fiennes
great. I
doing
know,
it.
totally.
But
But
Voldemort.
yeah, Voldemort or what's his face from Schindler's List. But I thought that was interesting. It's like, okay, so they did replace him, and they didn't just reboot with a different actor. You know, that character. They actually did a handover to another M, which was interesting. So I don't know. I'm curious where they're gonna go with it. I did want Danny Boyle because I think he's a phenomenal director. You know, he did Trainspotting 2, obviously.
I don't think they're gonna. If he left like this and it's this big public drama, like they're not gonna put. He's not gonna like change his mind.
No.
and come back
They
or-
rarely do that. They
Yeah.
rarely do that. But who are they looking at? You were looking at something where they had like a short list of directors. But it'll probably get pushed back to 2020 at this point. But the problem with that is they're saying that might affect or probably will affect Daniel Craig coming back.
Yeah.
Well, so they're saying. This is what this article says. It says David Mackenzie, Matthew Vaughn, Joe Wright, and Jan Damanje are in the frame to replace Danny Boyle.
Okay, so I know who Matthew Vaughn is. So
Yeah.
he did the Kingsman movies, so it would kind of make sense.
okay.
He's very stylized. He did
He's got another one
Kick-Ass.
coming
He
out,
did
right?
Kick-Ass. Yeah, I think they
He's
may
got a
be doing
third
another
installment
one.
on the Kingsman.
Yeah, he's also a producer on a lot of Guy Ritchie movies early on. He did X-Men First Class.
Okay.
He did Kick-Ass. So he's a great director. I like him a lot. He's very stylized,
Yeah.
which would be interesting to see what he does with Bond.
You see a lot of that in Kick-Ass. That was really
Yeah. And
It's very
Kings- and-
unique.
And Kingsman.
Oh, so this guy David Mackenzie did. Let's see. He did Hell or High Water. That film that
okay.
came
Yeah,
out.
that was Oscar nominated. Yeah.
And then a bunch of films I never heard of.
Well, Joe Wright, I know he did Darkest Hour, the recent one with
Yeah.
Winston Churchill. Gary Oldman is Winston Churchill.
Okay.
He did Anna Karenina. So
Oh,
he's
he's
like
all-
more of a
he's-
dramatic director.
Yeah.
But maybe he's done some other action ones. Anyways, it's interesting. I don't know. We'll see what happens because
These are all
Daniel
British
Craig.
directors.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know the saddest news about all this is Idris Elba coming out and
Idris.
saying that he's not. I don't know if it's Idris or Idris.
Idris.
It's not sad. He's been saying it the whole time.
The I
I
doesn't
think
become
it's a
long
big Hollywood conspiracy.
But how many
It's
of
not
you-
a long vowel if there's two consonants between the first vowel and the next vowel.
Yeah, but which
it's
one
Idris.
has more hits?
No,
Idris.
I and then
I
D-R.
am
Idris.
Idris Elba.
Idris.
It could be Idris.
No, it can't.
Idris.
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 Idris would be the
Idris.
Idris.
Idris. Idris.
Yeah, it's Idris Elba.
But I think the whole point of him saying now he really officially stating no. I mean, he's been saying that. And he's been. It's kind of like a teeter-totter. He said something, then he would
Yeah.
stop, and then you hear that he might be Bond, but now he's like officially saying that he's not going to be.
Yeah, that
Bond.
sucks because he's getting older, so he doesn't
'Cause-
actually have that much time.
Yeah.
like
I mean, how old was Daniel Craig? Was like in his
but
40s.
How old was he when he did Casino Royale in 06? That's what I'm saying. When it starts, but then
In
you
his
have to do it.
40s? He's in his 50s now, right?
I don't
Oh,
think-
maybe not. Maybe
I
it
don't think
was
so.
like
late
Yeah, I think
30s.
he's
maybe
in
it
his
was in his late 30s.
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Shit.
Let me see. He's
Well, whatever. I mean, all the other Bonds have been super old.
No, they get old over time. But I'm saying if you're gonna cast Idris Elba a couple years from now, the movie comes out. Like you could do that for a couple, but like he can't be like, oh, I'll just skip and do the next Bond after that.
Yeah.
No, that's
He'd
like
be
10,
like a
15
Sean
years from
Connery
now
or something.
Yeah, but he'll be doing like the Never Say Never.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, no, he was 38,
Wow,
37,
okay.
38 when he did Casino Royale. So I just don't know that Idris Elba can survive, come in. If he doesn't do this Bond, he's not doing Bond because, 10 to 15, let's say it takes 10 years to reboot the Bond. He's going to be like 50, 60 something.
Yeah.
50 something probably. Anyways, I love Idris Elba. I would love to see him. I'll be honest. I'd love to see a female Bond at some point. That would be really interesting.
That'd be
just,
hard.
Just do it. It'd be hard because you
What
what
her
you
name-
have in
what
your
her name be,
mind.
James? Yeah.
Just do Jamie Bond. I don't know.
No, this is where
James is a character. Like, didn't Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds? Didn't they name their daughter James? They did. Daughter's
Oh,
name
well,
is
then we
James.
should name. They should have a female
Yeah,
Bond because
sick.
of Blake Lively
Yeah.
and Ryan.
And their kid could play.
You know
that
what?
Bond in
Phil,
20
who,
years.
who should be Bond? The guy who played Loki, because he has charisma.
Thomas Hiddleston.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
has
but
a
that's
lot
just
of
that just
charisma.
seems.
I don't
I do
know.
like him. I do like him a
It would
lot.
just be, like,
but it just
really
seems so.
interesting scene.
I
That's
think
not
he's
as
an
interesting as
okay
Daniel Craig. I
actor.
think you need to do as good
It'll
or
be
better
different.
than
No,
Daniel
it'll be
Craig.
different. It'll be
I don't know.
different.
It's gonna be hard to trump Daniel Craig.
They should
He
have
was
Hugh
great.
Jackman play
Yeah,
Bond.
but I would like to see a female Bond. I'm just gonna be straight up. Like I just think that would be completely different, and I'd like to see that flip. I still want to see her because he's male chauvinist. I want to see her be
Didn't we
kind of
get
misogynistic. in her own
Atomic
way,
Blonde, which is basically.
It was different. It was a different story. That didn't really feel like a Bond film. It was a good movie, but I didn't feel like a Bond film. James McAvoy would be an interesting Bond. That fucking guy is a great actor. I want somebody with edge.
Yeah.
Anyways, but Daniel Craig said that.
Yeah, I
so
don't know.
So we may lose.
weird.
We may lose Daniel Craig because he said when he was promoting Spectre that he'd rather slit his wrist than play Bond again. And here he is playing Bond again. So
they offered him a lot of money.
yeah, well, yeah. Apparently there was a story that they offered him $150 million to do 2 more Bond films, and apparently he was like, "Nah." I was like, "What?"
Well, his bank account is already stacked. So,
You shrug your
There's
shoulders, but I'm like,
But there's a lot. There's so much more. It's not like he just shows up for 3 months and shoots a film.
it's
Like he has to
painful.
spend 8 months, like
There's
training
training,
every day,
yeah.
5 days a week. Like
That's-
he probably doesn't want to do. He's like, fuck that. I could go do like in that time. The time it would take to film 2 Bond films.
yeah.
I could shoot like 10 films and not have to work out at all.
Maybe he has enough money that he never has to worry about work ever again. But
I'm sure he
But if
does.
you just did 2 movies, you're set for life. Like $150 million, you're set for life.
He's already
even
set.
after 10% agent fees and everything else and manager fees. Like you still set
Dude,
for
he's,
life.
He's already good.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Again, back to the female Bond. I'd like to see a female. I'd like to see him flip it up and just
I
do a
would like-
different look. I'm kind of tired of the. I don't want another Pierce Brosnan type. I love Pierce Brosnan when he did it, but it just got so cardboard cut out. Daniel Craig kind of was like not a pretty boy, which I liked. It was very rough and edgy. I
I'll
wanna
say
see
if you
something-
rewatch Goldeneye, like Goldeneye is like Casino Royale.
Yeah, well, it's not quite like that, but it is grit. It's darker, grittier.
Yeah.
It's I do agree.
like,
the
the
later ones
story
got
is
more
crazy.
stylized or more.
006 is
flashy.
in it, which I
Yeah.
feel like they never have
Sean
a 006.
Sean Bean, yeah.
Have they ever had a 006 in any of the other films?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
I
remember.
mean,
No, they did
Casino-
have
or
a double
Goldeneye
or
is
something.
just a
I don't know
crazy
if it was
movie.
6 though. I can't confirm if it was 6, but they did. I remember one of the films that they had where they talked about it. And I think it was
other
with
double
M.
O's. Well, double O we know is the
code name.
Yeah, the code name
Yeah.
exactly. But I don't know. It's who are they going to do? Because I don't want to see another chiseled, white bread actor. I'm not saying they can't be white. I'm just saying I wanted to see somebody different. The thing I liked about Daniel Craig is he's not, and this is what people were like, what the fuck? Because he just didn't fit that chiseled, Superman-esque, British coiffed hair, whatever. With his cardigan sweater coming down,
You know what
Weekend
they
Warrior. No,
You know what they have is for a female Bond is a Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie.
Robbie, yeah.
Yeah, Australian. George Lazenby was Australian, right?
I feel like a female Bond, like it would have to be a whole separate universe.
That's what I'm saying. No,
like, it
well,
would
that's
be
what
its
they
own
all are.
thing.
That's what I'm saying. But it should be. They could just reboot,
And that would, I feel like it would be a simultaneous thing. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they would, and that would be a whole. I don't know. You'd have to.
It doesn't have to be. You could just do it. You just would have to do it where
It could be interesting. Yeah.
you just do it without fucking explaining it. You just reboot it. You still have Ralph Fiennes as M and everything like that, and then you just got a female Bond, and then you got Moneypenny as a guy. You just do gender swaps on fucking everything. It would just. I would be like let's check it out. You
I
know?
would want to see that, yeah.
Yeah, but like I
that'd
say,
be interesting.
Atomic Blonde was a really good example
Well,
of
that's
a
what I'm
woman
saying,
in
yeah.
that role. I mean, Salt was good.
I mean,
if you go
Atomic
back a
Blonde
little
was
bit,
crazy
but-
because of the way that film was shot and like the physicality of Charlize Theron.
Yeah, and
like
she's,
that was.
but she's
nuts.
also a great
It was
actress.
nuts.
She really is.
She would be an
great.
incredible
You know what they would-
female
But
Bond.
that's the kind of thing I want to see, though. I want to see that kind of like fucking just you feel the hits, you see the fucking.
But I haven't seen a lot of actresses that are like that kind of physicality. Charlize Theron, maybe Demi Moore in some of her earlier films. Like she kind of
G.I.
got into
Jane.
that
Oh,
a
yeah,
little
G.I.
bit.
Jane.
G.I. Jane. But there are a lot
But
of.
it could be done though, based off Charlize Theron doing that. Like you could that could be done. You have the Wonder Womans, but I'm not talking about that kind of thing. I want to see the
Gritty,
the Daniel Craig.
Dude,
like what
Atomic
he did.
Blonde is
But
like
Atomic Blonde,
fucking
that's what I'm
literally
saying.
a female James
Why don't they just get
Bond.
Charlize Theron?
They should.
There
They
you
should. That
go.
would
We
be
solved
fucking
it.
amazing.
South African.
She's older.
Well, she's technically.
That's ageism, Diego,
It is ages.
and it's illegal.
But I mean, I don't know. I
don't
feel
know
like
if it's
all
illegal, but
all the Bonds like always felt older.
Yeah.
Every Bond.
You know,
But
It-
she
it-
did just do Atomic Blonde, so that's what I'm saying. She could do. But just get somebody like that, like somebody who could do what she was doing in that movie. Like
How
that.
about if they
you
do-
see the bruises, you see the hits, you feel the that whole long continuous shot.
Yeah, where she crosses over the
Yeah.
wall or whatever.
Yeah, and
the
but that
Berlin
whole
Wall.
staircase scene down into the car, all that was incredible.
That's a crazy
But she had to perform all of that in camera.
Yeah.
And it was so good.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing I would like to see. That when I'm saying a female Bond, I would like to see something like that.
Yeah.
That could be.
What's the name of the
incredible.
girl that plays Khaleesi in Game of Thrones?
Amelia
Amelia
Clark. Too
yeah.
short.
She's not in shape, but what if they did?
Well, she did Sarah Connor. I mean, it was just
She
too short,
applied-
is what I'm
she-
saying. I know that seems weird. You can do anything with height, but she's like 5'2".
But that'd be great. That'd be great. She can like,
I know,
slide between legs and then just like.
I mean, she you
Double
know, they
stab
had
the
Alicia
crotch.
Vikander as
I feel Alicia
Lara
Vikander,
Croft.
like the
The Lara
physicality
Croft?
of her.
Yeah.
She did Lara Croft. Yeah.
Which
You know,
I
she can
actually
do, like, a
liked.
young
I
version.
enjoyed that movie. Did you see
She
it?
no,
can
I
do-
didn't see it. Tomb Raider.
I did
No.
see it. Yeah,
It's a solid film.
Wait, was
she
it-
can do a young
Was
version.
it was called
of,
Tomb Raider, not Lara Croft.
It's
right?
just called
Tomb
Tomb Raider, yeah.
Yeah, it was called Tomb Raider.
Yeah, well, she could be
did-
interesting.
She could do a young version of like trying to be the first female accepted into the Bond, and then that's where they can introduce the.
Well, I mean, they already had
all the other
like
Bonds.
Moneypenny was going out as an agent in the Bond films.
No,
It's not
that
like they
there's
don't have
never been a female
agents.
Bond before, and she applies and she goes through the rigorous training to be a Bond. She's the first.
Well, they haven't
female.
established that Bond is like a code
No, I'm
name.
saying this.
But
this-
that's what he's saying.
But
He
that would
established that as a code
that
name.
can that can
No, I think-
open up that story.
I think the best way
That's
you do
true.
it is you don't even acknowledge that. You just do the movie. You don't get into
But
the
what do you
fucking
call her?
thing. You just call her James Bond, or you call her
Bond.
Janet Bond.
Just call it Bond.
Just
It
Jamie.
just sounds corny, man.
Just call her James Bond. James
you
is
remember-
starting to be used for more and more females. It is
No,
actually.
Do you remember
Jamie
the
Bond?
cartoon? Do you remember
James
the
Bond
cartoon
has been
growing
used for
up?
female
James
names.
Bond Jr. It was supposed to be
Oh, yeah,
James
it did,
Bond's
yeah.
son, and he was
That was
like
a cartoon.
That was a cartoon. Yeah,
The
I
white
love
light-
that
yes.
cartoon.
Holy shit! I
But
forgot about that.
It was hokey, man. Like if
It
you
was.
if you
It was
call her
futuristic. It was,
Bond,
like,
if you
futuristic
call
almost a
her
little bit.
Bond, it's
Did
immediately
he have the
hokey.
Nintendo gun or something like
No,
that?
if it's just Bond,
I don't know,
it
but
can
he
be
was
done
doing real
well.
shit.
He had that gun that looked like
Not
a duck
Jamie
hunt,
Bond, but
duck hunt gun.
Bond can work. If it's done right, it can work. It can be.
It has
hokey.
to be
I-
done like
it has to be
handled
done
so
right.
carefully
Yeah, exactly.
because if it's mishandled, it just comes off hokey.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah,
has
it's
to
just
be
be done for the sake of doing it. If you just do,
It's,
that's what I'm saying.
it's
If you don't
James
acknowledge-
Bond's sister or something.
No, that's
like,
why I say don't do anything like that. Don't do the Ocean's 8 thing like, oh, this is Danny Ocean's sister. No, I
Yeah,
want to
how-
see a
how
movie.
was that movie?
Here is the problem with it. I don't want to go too
Here we
derailed, but
go.
here was the problem with Ocean's 8. And I was just talking about actually this yesterday. I saw it in theaters. It's a very enjoyable movie. It's fun. I do not know how that script got greenlit. I have no fucking idea because it violates every basic story, drama, conflict rule.
Yeah.
That exists. There is absolutely no conflict. They run into no problems. The problems that do happen, they get over in like 3 seconds. It's simple. There's no character arc for any character. Any comeuppance for like asshole characters is almost like a side note.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm like, this was a breeze. Like nothing happened.
Yeah.
It just all came off without a hitch. I'm like, spoiler alert, it just fucking happens. And you're like, and that's the end? Like they just did it because they were like, and then like critics weren't shitting on it. And I was like, this is political. What the fuck? Like, if this was done by men, it felt like this movie would have been like, nothing happened in that movie.
Yeah.
But nobody wanted to shit on it. And this is what I was actually talking to some people about yesterday. I'm like, I do get that at the same time because you want to encourage more films with, female-centric films, the ones that are, like, you don't want to just shit on this finally happening at the same time. So you're trying to take, like, a socio-political view on it and not just tear it down. But I'm like, if you're going to be nice, be equally nice to everybody. If you're going to be shitty, be equally shitty to everybody.
Well,
like, if you're going
that's
to be a critic who
impossible, 'cause
criticizes, criticize.
But
The film
everyone
had
has-
real script problems. and real-
Everyone has their prejudices, so
Yeah.
you can't ask people to be.
But I will tell you, it was a mindless, just fine, fun film. Like it was enjoyable, but literally, like you never feel any, like nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's really weird that way.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe they got the star
'cause the
power and they're
original-
like, all right, just go
I know,
with it.
I know. Because the original Ocean's 11, like you feel shit, you feel twists,
Yeah.
there's like crazy things that happen in those Ocean's 11 movies, specifically the first one, where
Yeah.
you're like, fuck, that doesn't happen in this one. It's all so goes off without a hitch.
Yeah.
Easy, nothing goes wrong. And when it does go wrong, literally, it's like, little bump, done. Like it happens like twice.
That's
It's
weird.
crazy. I literally was like, and nobody ever changed. There was no character.
Yeah.
There was no strong thing happening that you felt like, oh fuck, like
Well, maybe it wasn't made for you.
Oh.
that's
That was-
sexist.
that was
That's
very
Is that
That's
sexist?
sexist.
Is that sexist?
No,
No,
that
but I'm
was
saying
actually-
I don't want to see it, but
I like the pause.
Hey, I'm the one championing
No,
fucking
you
Janet
said-
Bond, okay?
That's
This
not
is-
for your
You said,
gender.
you said maybe it wasn't made for you. He said, but I want to see.
Yes.
It's like, no, he just said it wasn't made for you.
Yeah, but like I said, it was an enjoyable film. I would like fair and equal criticism of films, and there was I literally was shocked that movie got made in that state where somebody didn't go, you need more conflict and drama in this fucking film for this movie to work.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm like, shit, man, you had a lot riding on you.
The writers.
Make it better. Don't
Can you
just
see the writers?
do it because you're like, it's a
Am I
guaranteed
still getting paid?
sale, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Am I still getting paid if this goes out? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
exactly.
All right, we're good.
Anyways,
Okay.
it was, like I said, it was a fine, fun film, but it did not ever do what stories are supposed to fucking do. You know,
Yeah.
there was like no drama. Anyways, but back to it. Bond would be
Bond.
interesting with a female, but back to the Daniel Craig, Danny Boyle thing. Now they're scrambling for a director. It's going to probably put it off to 2020. There's a very strong promise of the fact that Daniel Craig will not come back.
Yeah.
You know, at this
Really?
point, pushing it off to 2020.
He's
The
got
guy was
series on
already
this
on the-
lineup.
Huh?
His I just looked at him on IMDb. He's
Yeah.
got some series coming up.
A show?
It seems like he has some shows coming up. that
Everybody's
he's
doing
involved
shows.
Yeah.
So did you guys read this thing about them saying they wanted to regenerate him?
Yeah, I did not like that wording. Yeah, that's what they're saying. They're saying that.
A la
that-
Doctor Who?
okay. So Danny Boyle's apparently, I mean, this is all sources say, he left because the writers wanted to kill off Bond and then have him regenerate in the next one, a la Doctor Who. And I'm like, that's a poor choice of word. They probably don't mean regenerate, like literally a
Have
regenerate.
you ever watched
clone.
Doctor Who?
No.
So they've had like
A
it's been on
million. Now they have a
multiple
female
Doctor
one.
Who's.
They have a female Doctor Who now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've like you know, they whatever they do, they got alien technology or some shit. So maybe the aliens are in Bond 25 and the government used the alien
Maybe
shit
they cross over
to
with
take
Doctor
Bond's DNA and then they do an alien resurrection like Sigourney Weaver and they grow like 1,000 Bonds and then finally make the perfect one and it's Idris Elba
yeah.
in Bond 26.
Not anymore.
Hey,
He just said no.
I'm all
But
for
it's
doing
technically
crazy shit.
Daniel Craig in
What if they
Idris
show-
Elba's body.
what if
Like
they
that
show-
would be amazing.
When the clone comes up, it shows clone not available. Idris Alba.
Yeah, exactly.
that would be awesome.
He's like, I got a cameo in the film.
They should call it
Maybe that's
like
how ridiculous
something
it
else,
was.
like the program, and it's like the training for it, and it'd be like some fucking crazy ass, like really gritty. Like the
No,
people
you know
will
what they
tell
do?
Hold on, the person will tell you that look, you might die during this training.
Yeah.
That's how. And then at the end, when the person gets like their badge, it's a card that says Bond.
Yeah.
License to kill. Their license to kill is their identity at the same time. You know, it'd be interesting.
Call
Here's what they
Call
do.
me.
They
It would
want to
be-
go really fucking crazy. They get Daniel Craig back for another film, and they have him get killed off in that one. And then the next one, they clone the Daniel Craig clone comes out, and he's 008. So 7 was the 7th clone in the series, and every one has been James Bond clone. So the numbers is actually the number that in the series of clones, right?
Yeah.
So 007 was just the 7th one,
And they
of the
changed
same
their
fucking
physical features.
Yeah, and it's just
James
like a clone
Bond.
of that. I mean, a clone
Oblivion.
would be particularly the same
Oh.
exact face, but whatever. Yeah, whatever they do, but that's the thing. They're never gonna fucking
But
do
then,
that.
how do you explain
Like
like,
a sci-fi
Skyfall and like the
Huh?
background and the families and all that stuff?
What do you mean? Which thing?
How do you explain the background? Are those false memories?
Yeah,
or
false
something?
memories. They implanted that fucking shit. It's the unicorn.
I feel
in
like-
dreams.
Why not? I mean,
I feel like you just
they
want
want to get on the
Oblivion.
sci-fi bandwagon. I think
They're
Bond
never
is
gonna
trying to
do
get
it.
on the like people like sci-fi now.
People will
Like,
lose their
sci-fi is
shit if you do
huge.
that.
Oh yeah, you can't sci-fi
You know what you
James
can't.
Bond.
Here's what you can
Only
do. You
like
could do
crazy
anything.
Bond fans.
Here's what you could do. This is the rule. You could do anything you want as long as it doesn't affect the past films. It only affects future films, and then you could always reboot again and get rid of all that shit. But you can't go back and be like, remember all that shit with Sean Connery? We're gonna ruin all of
So
that.
this is basically like
retrospectively.
Jason X, but it's
don't
like
think-
Bond
yeah.
X,
I
where
don't
he's
think
like
you
Jason,
just do
Bond in
anything.
space
I want to see him
or
flying through
something.
space with his pistol.
Oh shit! You know what they should do? They should do like a thing where Bond gets like frozen in like some shit, some
Yeah.
liquid nitrogen, and then wakes up 1,000 years in the future, and
It'll be
has to,
Demolition.
like,
I want to see him Demolition Man.
Demolition Man Bond. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
amazing.
Bugger.
See, these are some good dudes.
Kwasaka.
We should be producers, man. These are some good ass ideas.
These are
We could,
great
like,
ideas.
Yeah, I feel you guys
Sell
just
this shit.
did another Sharknado. For real. I think there's limits.
Bond
Hey, shout out.
I think
Did
you can do crazy things in Bond,
Yeah.
but I think there's still limits and there's traditions to the Bond films
Yeah.
that must be in every
It's
new
true.
film.
That's the reason I think it's been so successful is because they've maintained like
the
a
classical
standard.
feel.
Yeah.
And they
Totally.
haven't done any like offshoots, like what you said before about having like a movie called The Program, where it's like the whole time they're like going through this rigorous training. At the end, he gets a card that says like he's Bond or whatever.
Yeah.
they'd never do that
Yeah.
because that would be like a split or
Yeah.
something. You know, it'd be like this offshoot of like another franchise.
Exactly.
But no, it goes to where I'm saying
Casino
where
Royale was
anybody could-
already technically the
M.
It
Night
could be the
Shyamalan
Bond.
directs
Prequel.
Bond, he would totally do that. Yeah.
Twist. It's part of the split.
I want M.
universe.
Night Shyamalan to come
It's part of the
in and
split universe
direct
with
it.
Glass and
Yeah, like the Horde shows up or whatever.
But
like,
that
and
could
Bond's
open up
there.
to the Bond universe thing. That's what I'm saying.
I think that like there's conflict. Like I think maybe the owners of the franchise want to do that, but the
My
the
concern right
producers
now
or other people
is
don't.
that there's
wanna
so
do
much
that.
crazy shit happening with everybody wanting creative rights to the film, whatever is going on, that they're just
I don't
gonna,
think that's the thing. I think they just own
Well,
it.
No, I'm
There was
talking
the
about
MGM thing at one point. Oh, you mean like creatively?
yeah, creatively.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not
Thought you meant
who
I
owns
legal.
think
I thought
Danny
meant legal
Boyle
rights.
just
No,
was
not
like,
legal rights,
I
no.
think he felt like it was. He must have been sides. What do you
Swiped.
call it? Is it sideswiped?
Yeah, like where he was
Yeah.
going T-boned, kind of like he was just going straight. And he
Yeah,
got-
like he must have been like on pre-production, and then all of a sudden like some script came in that they approved. It was like totally
Side-
fucking not what he agreed to.
Side swipe.
blindsided.
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 That's what
Like,
I
what's
wanted
the
to
word?
say.
Yeah.
Blindsided.
Yeah.
Like I think that what happened is he signed on however long ago, like started pre-production, started rolling. They had a script that was awesome that he was okay with, and then all of a sudden this like alteration came in that like Doctor Who'd everything up,
Yeah.
and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" And they were like, "Gotcha, bitch! There's only 3 months left. Now you got to make it." And he's like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Right. No, I think
And he
here's
just
what probably
rolled.
happened because usually when a director comes on, they have the right to like go over a script and work it over and
Yeah.
do their own version of a script. I think he's been working on a script and then they're like,
They
nah.
push something.
Like he's like, I want
Oh.
to change this. This is it, and they're trying to go back and forth in the script. And
He
they're
probably
like, this
thought
isn't
what he
working.
read when he signed on. It was like, "This is never going to happen."
Yeah,
This is
or
so
I have the
ridiculous."
right to change this. And they're like, no, we want to stick with this. Or they came up with the idea and they're like, we want this in the script. And he goes, no. And, or
This
something
doesn't
like that.
fit,
And they were
yeah.
like, we got these guys to write this shit. Because here's the thing. These big films can go through 20 some odd writers. You may only have 2 or
Yeah.
3 credited on it, but you have script doctors, you have rewrites.
Ghostwriters.
They're not ghostwriters. They're uncredited writers because the WGA, the Writers Guild of America, will not allow that many writer credits.
Really?
Yeah, it's unallowed. It's not allowed. They won't allow co-director credits. That's why the Coen brothers are not part of the DGA anymore. That's the Directors Guild of America because they would not allow them both to be directors of the film. If you watch the early Coen brothers films, only Joel, I think it is. Yeah, Joel is the only one who's credited as director. Ethan's like a producer and a
Producer,
co-writer. But then they were finally like, we direct these movies together. Like, we literally both are behind the camera directing these movies. We want co-director credits. And they're like, nah. They're like, fine, we're leaving the DGA. So now all their films are Coen brother, Joel and Ethan Coen co-directed it, but they're not part of the DGA. It's not sanctioned by them.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the thing. So you might have like 20 some odd writers.
Goddamn
so who knows?
unions
Fucking
ruining
union.
everything.
Yeah, but they make sure the writers
Well,
get
there's
paid.
only
'cause
so
the
long
writers and
people are gonna
directors used to
stay-
get dicked, or the writers specifically used to get dicked
Yeah.
back in the day, man.
I don't think
Studios,
directors make a lot of money.
directors make good money.
They make
Literally,
all right.
like the
Not
minimum you
compared
can
to an
make
actor.
in a DGA
Not
film, and
compared-
like the minimum you can make is something like a
If
million.
Daniel Craig's getting $150 million, I guarantee you Danny Boyle ain't getting a fraction of that.
No, but he's making millions of dollars.
He might be making $1 million.
couple million. Yeah, he's an established pretty good. He's
Oh,
probably
I
making.
know, but like even Peter
3 to 5.
Jackson
He's
made
probably making
like
3
$1
to 5.
million as a director.
Yeah, but
he also was a producer
was
on the
indie. He was
films,
like-
but he made like $1 million as a director on Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, well,
that's not a lot of money for 3 fucking.
He
films.
probably made more than that. Plus, that was back in the day. No, Danny's probably making 3 to 5. I would say. But,
Really?
yeah. No, there are minimums. This is the thing about these unions. If you're part of those, and all
Yeah,
studio
they-
things
they-
are sanctioned by these things,
Yeah.
there's a minimum you can get paid. It's kind of great actually for like I'm a writer.
Yeah.
you know,
It's
and
great if
director.
you're
It's
like
nice
big
to
and
know that you
have
have-
successful,
protection.
but if you're like a low level guy, then it may not be that good. For
No,
you.
that's better for the low level guy because if you're low, you get in and you get a director's job in a DGA project. They have to minimally pay you this much. They can't be like, well, this is your first movie, you can't do that. Or your second movie, you can't do
Yeah.
that. No, they have to pay you a minimum.
Yeah.
So you don't get fucked. You're not like, well, you're not Steven Spielberg, so we're just going to pay you $20,000 for a 9-month shoot and then all post production.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? I can't
Yeah.
do that. So it is good for that reason. It kind of just takes care to make sure you don't
You
get
just gotta
dicked.
pull a Spielberg, where you get like money off the
yeah,
ticket
the
sales.
back end.
or not
points.
Spielberg,
Points.
Lucas.
Yeah, Luke. Oh my god.
Well, here's my concern is all this drama going on with Bond right now is that it's gonna come up to a deadline and they're gonna play it safe and it's gonna ruin the next Bond. Not gonna ruin the next Bond,
Yeah.
but it's not gonna beat the spectacle like Casino Royale.
Yeah.
was.
I think all they're going to end up doing, they're going to nail down a director in the next few weeks. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to start shooting. They're probably going to push the date to 2020 release, spring, summer, probably summer release.
Yeah.
Although Bond's never been a summer film. But they'll probably do that. Maybe March, April, of 2020. And that'll be that. And we'll have a film. And it will be Daniel Craig's last one. They've already had 3 directors on the Daniel Craig films.
Yeah.
This will be the 4th director. They just need to wrap it up. They don't need to fucking go nuts. There's a built-in audience. Make a good movie. They already have a script idea. Maybe don't go with the fucking kill him off regeneration thing. Because you don't have to. Because you don't have to. You can go nuts on the next reboot. And to get Christopher Nolan to do the next reboot with another actor. Well, Christopher Nolan, no, that he's been in. No. I know, just get Christian Bale. No, or Michael Caine, an old retired.
That'd be great.
Yeah, but I don't know that they'll do that. But
I doubt it.
Christopher Nolan said he's interested in doing a Bond film. He just doesn't want to take over somebody else's Bond. He would only do it if he could reboot it.
He'll do his own trilogy on the Bond.
Yeah, exactly. And he'll have Michael Caine. It's a retired Bond.
Yeah.
Right? Michael Caine.
Oh yeah.
Christopher Nolan directing.
Yeah. He would definitely be.
I have a particular set of skills.
I have a particular set of skills.
He would have, he would have him, and then God, what is it? What's the other guy's name? Oh shit, he was in. He played Scarecrow.
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy's in
Oh
all
wow,
of his
that's a great
movies.
call.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy would be an interesting.
He's in
He'd
every
be
Christopher Nolan
He
film.
is, yeah. So is Michael Caine, and so a lot of guys kind of reboot. Christian Bale was in 4 or so films.
That's true.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, I think it would have been awesome for Idris Elba to play him, but it seems like he's just not interested. And I guess I could kind of understand it, like the way Daniel Craig is disinterested in playing this character. If you're just an actor and you're not a producer, you're not like you're not one of these actor whatever. Like you're a little bit of everything. Like you're a producer, you're a writer, you're a director. Like Daniel Craig is not that, and I don't think any of the Bond guys have been.
No,
that
I don't
way.
think that's not their thing.
Yeah,
it's not how the system's set up either.
They're actors, yeah. They're like stage actors and film actors. Like they're like, this is all I want to do. I just want to fucking act. And you have to look how many years of Daniel Craig's life he's dedicated to this franchise. Like
we're
he
12
probably
years in
wants to be
now.
like, I'm done, guys. I'm out.
Yeah, because what's his face only had not 8 years into Bond. He got replaced. Pierce Brosnan. 95 was GoldenEye.
He looks so different.
The
now,
last one was like 03, right?
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
because 06 it was rebooted with Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
So he does look old. He's a lot older now. But so Daniel Craig's now going on. If it gets released in 2020, that's 14 years of Bond.
He looked old in Spectre.
He's
He
getting.
looks.
And that's
like
what
he's
we
getting
don't
up there.
see. Is like that's a lot of.
There's
your
so many
life to
years
one
in
film,
between these
dedicated
Bond
to one
films.
film.
They can't just bang out a new film like every 2 years or something. It's
no,
like what the.
It's like I
because
feel like
he just turned 50 this year.
Yeah.
Daniel Craig. I understand why he wants to be done.
Yeah.
He's 50. I mean, Tom Cruise is 56, and this one guy
How old
still
was Connery when he was
jumping out
towards
of
the end?
planes. Huh?
How old was Connery towards the end of his Bond
not
films?
never. You don't want to count. Never say never, right?
No.
Okay.
What did he do after Never Say Never?
Bond wise?
Yeah.
No,
That was the last one.
No,
right?
that was the last one. But I'm
Yeah.
saying that's not considered canon. But the last time he did that, he was let's see, he was born in 1930. So when he did Never Say Never, which was I believe 82, 83.
He was in his
Never Say
50s.
Never Again was 83. So he was 53. Which is,
Okay.
oh wow, he's actually only 3 years older than James.
Man, he looked
Danny
a lot
Craig.
older.
That's funny
than Daniel Craig.
because if the next Bond film comes out in 2020, he'll be about the same age that Sean Connery was when he did Never Say Never Again.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, he'd be 52. Sean
Yeah.
Connery was 53. But the last Bond film that he did, which was like a canon film, was Diamonds Are Forever in 71. So he was 41. 41 when he stopped doing Bond. Yeah, he was 41 when he stopped doing Bond.
Wow.
scan it.
All right, cool. Well, there you go. So
right,
hopefully, let's see what happens. We'll wait for some news, and hopefully, no news comes up before this podcast actually gets dropped.
Well, who? Just to last minute question.
Yeah.
Who would you guys like to
What?
see direct Bond? Like, who do you think
direct
would be an
Bond?
ideal director? I mean, Danny Boyle is like cool.
Yeah, I
but-
like that idea. I liked it because I really like his style. Slumdog Millionaire, Steve Jobs, Train Spotting, all those movies. I fucking just love his style.
Who directed? Oh goddamn! What was that movie with the guy who's like deaf or whatever is ringing in his ear?
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright. I feel like would be an interesting.
Yeah, he would be a good
director.
one. I
That's
mean, he
interesting.
did all the Simon Pegg movies, the Blood and Cornetto
Yeah, I just like the
trilogy.
style of his filmmaking.
Edgar Wright's great.
Scott Pilgrim. who
Yep,
did that.
Scott
Like,
Pilgrim.
Yeah.
The way he shoots and like the action, the speed, and I like to do a.
He's great.
Yeah.
yeah
I mean,
and
he seems to do more
He was supposed to do Ant-Man.
comedy,
He
but-
developed Ant-Man up until somebody else basically took over because he's so particular. He's a particular style, and it wasn't really fitting into the Marvel universe. But he could do Bond though. Bond has room for
Yeah.
movement. You know what I mean? So he could do that. That would be interesting. Matthew Vaughn is similar in the Edgar Wright style, like the stylized British high energy
he's
kind
British,
of stuff.
yeah,
And
right.
he did Kingsman. So I think Matthew Vaughn's a good idea. I think Edgar Wright, that's a good idea. We know Christopher Nolan's not going to do it.
Yeah.
Fuck, who did Atomic Blonde? I don't know. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
interesting.
Whoever what's the director for John Wick?
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, but then no,
And then
no,
the other
I want
guy.
John Wick to stay.
Yeah.
They're
But
doing
you
a
also
third
don't
one.
I
need
want
to-
John Wick to be the new Bond.
I did see the second one finally. That was a good movie.
I thought it was really good.
Really
Crazy.
great.
I like that
Great.
second movie.
Dude, he must have killed like 100,000 people in that movie.
Oh, and
Crazy.
David Leitch, who did John Wick, did Atomic Blonde.
Oh, it was the same
he
guy?
He did the first. He was uncredited in the first one.
Yeah.
John Wick as like an uncredited director of the first John Wick.
Yeah.
Kind of took over a bunch, and he did Deadpool 2. Same guy directed Atomic Blonde. I didn't.
Oh, wow.
I
So,
totally
we
forgot about
nailed
that.
it down.
So yeah, David Leitch. There you go. There's my
Boom.
I
Yeah.
thought Deadpool 2 was fucking phenomenal. I thought that even the sequences of that film and the way it felt, with the comedy in it,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
you felt the hits, you felt the kind of craziness of it.
Yeah.
I liked it. So I'd say David Leitch.
All right.
Leitch,
Cool.
Latch, whatever his name is. By the
Let's-
way,
let's see what
R.I.P.
happens
Robin
to the
Leach.
Bond.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous just died.
Oh.
So did John McCain.
John McCain, yeah,
But,
but-
Yeah.
Robin Leach. Anyways, there you go.
All right. Well,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I hope James Bond doesn't come out like a generic film because of all this dramatic.
No.
Hey, never say never.
Never say never.
After all,
Never say
diamonds
never.
are forever.
Because they're already pushing back.
Worst case
They're already
scenario,
pushing
they
back.
get a new Bond and
Yeah, but that's
they
what I'm
start
saying.
filming
Be
in 6
fine.
months or something.
It's known
instead
for
of 3.
reboots.
It's
It'll
a
always be
rush.
fine.
It's a rush. Everybody will accept it because it's Bond, but I don't want to just accept Bond. I want fucking Bond.
As long as it's not
I
Quantum of
feel
Solace,
like
I'm
they
fine.
left. The thing that upsets me is I feel like if they don't bring Daniel Craig back, they left Spectre open
Mm-hmm.
at the end of that to continue with Daniel Craig and and what's his name?
Blofeld.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Christoph Waltz.
fuck, I wish they hadn't done that. They could have
Yeah.
just wrapped that shit up and killed him,
know.
and that would have been. They could have just ended with Daniel Craig, but they left it
I like how they
open-ended.
did it with Casino Royale and like other movies. I like how it wasn't really open ended at the end. Yes, they were tied in, but
Yeah.
I don't like that kind of thing where they're like sort of like, oh, we're going to continue this story. I'm like, that's not what I want to see from Bond. I don't want to see a continued story. You know what I mean?
Daniel Craig had to have thought like,
Yeah.
I fucked myself here by allowing them to shoot these scenes or whatever.
Nah,
you know,
probably.
like anyway.
All
All right. James Bond goes bad. All
Yeah,
right,
there you go.
End
Oh,
of the film.
James
Boom.
Bond the villain. There you
There
go.
you
All right, cool.
He's the
But
ultimate
who's the
villain.
good guy? The villain?
There's just a villain.
The new woman Bond.
There's just a
and
villain.
she
The
kills him and then she
who
takes
who
over.
cries
It's just-
blood.
Ooh,
James Bond just
he's
goes
dead.
crazy.
He's dead.
Mads
Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen. He's great.
Fight
great
Club.
actor.
Great actor.
Yeah.
Bleeding, like crying blood. That's so
Fight
great.
Club all
Yeah.
over again.
There you go.
There you go.
David Fincher.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
David Fincher Bond.
Teamwork,
Shit, that would be
bitch.
crazy.
Yeah, that would be crazy. that would be really good.
You know, Gone Girl Bond.
Yeah, girl. Ben Affleck as Bond. Okay, let's go.
Oh, no way.
I'm
Oh, she
kidding.
was a Bond girl. Anyways, what's her name from Gone Girl? She was a Bond
Rosamund
girl.
Pike. Yeah, she was
Rosamund
in one
Pike.
of the.
Yeah.
no,
There's the
not-
connect.
She was
Yeah.
one of the Pierce Brosnan ones.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
All right,
His
guys.
last one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Huh?
The last
Bond.
Pierce
World is
Brosnan
not
No,
Bond
I'm
enough.
saying we
film.
all made sound
Was
effects.
it The World
at
Is
the
Not
end.
Enough? Was The World Is Not Enough?
No, it was Never Die Again. No,
No.
Die Another Day.
No, that wasn't the last one. Was
Yeah,
it?
that was the
Halle
last
Berry.
one.
Halle Berry was in that
Halle
one.
Berry's in
Was
it
she-
with Rosamund Pike.
I didn't think that was the last one.
Yes, it's the last one. Look it up right now.
Okay, while you
I
guys
just want to
debate,
be
you
right
look it
on
up.
air. I just want to be right on air. Die Another Day, right?
Let's see.
You remember because Madonna
You know,
did the
this
song.
will be the third time in a row that
It was like
you guys
Madonna
went.
did the opening, where it was like she did the.
Wait.
I'm gonna.
I really want to be right, but I don't know that I'm right. But I really want to be right.
No, this happened before. Is this a
Another
flashback?
day.
Bop, bop, bop.
Yeah, I own this
When
movie.
did he? God damn, he's just.
I like Die Another
World Is
Day,
Not
even though he
Enough,
does
and then-
surf. He does surf a
Another Day.
avalanche. He
Yeah.
surfs an avalanche.
I know
in
that's the type of
movie.
shit that I was like, I'm done. I'm out.
I wasn't out. I was like,
yeah, you're right. You're
this
right.
is corny, but I still like it.
Die
This
Another
is
Day.
James
Wow, that was
Bond.
2002.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He only had 7 years as Bond.
Wow.
Interesting. All right,
he
cool.
did 4.
All right,
No,
well-
he did 4. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's fine.
So we'll
More
end
than
this
Timothy
podcast
Dalton.
with Neil being correct again.
Boom.
Man,
Timothy Dalton should come back.
boom.
that would be crazy.
He's get in shape.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us at Get to the Podcast. That's Get to the Podcast with number 2. My name is Tiago D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
Oh, Steve Buscemi as James Bond.
No.
Quentin Tarantino directs it.
Well,
Quentin Tarantino directs it.
yeah.
Mel Gibson.
I would be okay.
still here? It's over. Go home. Go.